Americans, patriots, Christian brothers, sisters alike, how you doing? Well, Israel did retaliate, which we thought we would. We knew they would. They hit Iranian targets all over Iran and some in Syria and Damascus. And now the Russians have gotten involved because the Iranians said, well, now we're going to hit you back even further. And Putin is getting involved and saying, oh, no, you won't, because then you're going to give the Americans and the central bankers what they want. Now, you have to understand this, that the Russians have a treaty to protect Syria and Iran, and the U.S. have treaties to protect Ukraine and Israel. Even though right now Biden is funding both sides of Iran, Russia's partner, go figure, and Ukraine. Now, Biden is deliberately causing chaos because he needs a war to help the struggling U.S. economy no matter what he says. Biden knows the economy is struggling, and Putin knows this as well. Putin and Netanyahu are men amongst a bunch of political hack boys. That's the truth. I don't care what you think about either Netanyahu or Putin. These are military men. These are intelligence men. These are men that know how to play the game better than anybody else. And I'm sure Putin went to him, look, this is what the U.S. is trying to do. The economy is struggling. Election days in 197 days. Biden can't be the one to start the war because he will definitely lose the election, even though he's going to lose the election anyway. But if you don't give him the war he wants, chances are he's probably going to lose the election anyway. And I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if they find a way to use the 25th Amendment like Trump predicted by June to get Biden out, because the central bankers, I think, have had enough of him. And the central bankers need a world war to get out of this paper fiat currency to go to a digital fiat currency to control what you buy, what you can have, and keep track of everything you own. You think Klaus Schwab was saying you own nothing and like it? Well, he didn't give you the choice. He was telling you it's going to be done by force. Now, with Russia going and China going with a gold-backed money system, known as the BRICS system, along with India, South America, and Brazil, and more countries climbing on board, and you got El Salvador going more and more to cryptocurrency, the world bankers feel their empire collapsing, and they don't like it. And Putin had to go to Iran and says, look, this is not going to happen. Knock it off. And I'm sure Putin was angry with Iran for doing what he did without telling him, the way Hamas did things without Iran telling Iran, and they got mad at them. It's a chain reaction. And Putin said, nope, it stops right here, right now. You say what you gotta say, stand down. Because even though the central bankers want China to be the next world power, because their people are submissive and obedient at all costs, the problem is China wants to be the world power, but they want to be the world power without the central bankers telling them what and how to do things. Xi Jinping wants to do it on his own terms without the central bankers, hence why he joined the BRICS system. And if you don't think that even Xi Jinping is fighting a deep state, well, then you've been sleeping for a very, very long time. So, Putin is saying, hey, listen, let's wait till election day. Chances are, Biden's going to be out, even though he endorsed Biden, because Biden is predictable. And Biden is predictable because Putin knows what he's going to do, because one, he has him blackmailed. The Ukrainians have him blackmailed. The Chinese have him blackmailed. It's been known that if you have a check with plain numbers on it and you give it to Biden, he will give you what they want. Problem is, Biden has accepted too many checks, is compromised in too many ways, and basically is cornering himself right now and trying to start world chaos on behalf of the world banks to get him out of this jam he put himself in, the way FDR did back in the 40s. It's the same playbook. It has never changed. The only difference is that we now have social media and the internet, so people can find out on their own and know on their own what's going on a lot faster. Whereas in the old days, you had to rely on the media, you had to rely on the politicians being honest, or you got updates in the movie theater before your movie started. That's not the case anymore. And with the Western European nations struggling and getting fed up with people like Macron and the other leaders of Western Europe, things aren't getting better for them. They are not getting any easier for them. And the central bankers are losing control, and they don't like it. And they need a world war to bring in this digital currency in hopes they say, okay, just end the war. We'll go to digital currency. Putin knows this. So does Xi Jinping. So did Bolsonaro of Brazil. So did Donald Trump. Like I said, whether you like it or not, Netanyahu and Putin are a bunch of boy political hacks we have around the world for leaders. Sorry, that is the case, whether you like it or not. And he knows that a world war would give Biden and the central bankers exactly what they wanted. And that we can't afford to do that. The other thing is that since Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, who should be under a guillotine like most of the administration, has said that eventually Ukraine is going to become a member of NATO. That's pretty bold because Putin has made it clearly, he has said what he would do if Ukraine became a NATO member. Now, Ukraine being a NATO member, that Bay Area right there where Putin keeps his navy would be controlled by NATO. So would a lot of his gas and oil lines. So would Crimea. Putin is not going to have it. He isn't. And he knows that if a World War did start, they would have a emergency session and make Ukraine a NATO member. So Putin is not only defending his business interests with Syria and Iran, but he's also partners with China, who have a lot on the line here, who want their gold-backed system and don't want to be under the control of the world bankers. Problem is, they picked the three wrong people to mess with: Putin, Xi Jinping, and Trump. Because when Trump does get back in office, and he is going to get back in office, the days of the Federal Reserve are pretty much gone. In fact, if you didn't know, the Federal Reserve was taken over by the U.S. Treasury and has been bankrupt. We are eventually going back to a gold-backed system per the Constitution. Yeah, that's right, per the Constitution, because if you didn't know your Constitution, since it's never been taught to you, it's in the Constitution that our money has to be backed by gold. And it has been backed by gold since the Federal Reserve was started in, was it 1912, I think? And then officially, Richard Nixon took us up the gold standard in 1970, and that's what he should have been impeached for. Forget Watergate. Nixon should have been impeached for that. So you have a bunch of 5D chess games going on behind the scenes. Now, although Biden would like to get the impression he's in command, he has everything under control, he isn't. Biden cannot be the one to start the war because he'll lose the election. But if Biden does not get the war he wants, he will lose the election anyway. He is hoping that if he could provoke it somewhere else and then force the U.S. to get involved, it would make him look like a wartime president, and history shows that the U.S. population does not change presidents in the middle of a war. It's never been done before. So, that's the deal with Putin getting involved, and he's doing it for the right reasons. And he's trying. You got Blinken trying to provoke Putin with making Ukraine a NATO member, which isn't going to happen. But now on the side note, you see the way Mark Johnson is now caving in to the Dems with this ridiculous border bill that's not going to improve anything. So, Mike Johnson, you have a lot to be accountable for now. And if you lose your role as Speaker of the House, I won't miss you. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're no better than Kevin McCarthy. In fact, Kevin McCarthy might have been better even though he's a rhino. $197 days till Election Day. It will be interesting to see what happens. But Putin and Xi Jinping are smart enough to know not to give Biden and the central bankers the world war they want. And they don't want to go to a digital currency not backed by their own gold. Comments down below. What's your opinion? I'd like to know. Like and subscribe. Keep the country in prayer. Jesus Christ is still King. And we'll talk to you later.